Top 10 Management Interview Questions and Answers. How do you motivate yourself? I am very self-motivated. So I am always looking for new ideas to bring to the table. With my passion being the work that I do, I am always giving my full potential to all my tasks. I enjoy my work.
What is the most challenging thing about being a manager? The most challenging thing about being a manager is also the most rewarding. It is easy to handle your performance. However, as a manager, you are responsible for your teams. So you must continually measure their performance, set clear expectations, goals, motivate them, and keep them focused. It is a great feeling to be able to accomplish. How do you manage your workload? I prioritize my task by what is most important and urgent to least important and urgent. If there are some tasks that I can assign to others, I will also delegate.
How do you motivate your employees in tough times? I believe that as a leader, I have to be the one who is constantly driving an atmosphere of positivity and focus. I make sure that I am acting and saying positive things about my employees. I remind them daily of the goals and celebrate as we accomplish them. How do you delegate an important assignment to others while ensuring that it will be completed successfully? I try to match up the strengths of my employees with the task, or if it is something they are learning. If it is the latter, I will provide support and check in to ensure that it's completed correctly. With an employee that is strong in the task, I will check in periodically. Either way, I set up milestones for the employee to let me know how they are progressing. How do you handle conflict between team members? There are always two sides to every story, which is why it's so important to me to remain as neutral and open-minded as possible whenever I hear of conflict between teammates. I was in a situation a few years ago where two members of my team were clearly unhappy with each other. Rather than let it fester or ignoring it with the hope that they would be able to work it out themselves, I sat down with them individually and asked them to explain what was going on. We discussed reasonable and professional solutions that worked for both parties, and the matter was resolved. Describe your management style. I start out every project by making sure that I give clear directions and outline our overall goals, but I make a real effort not to micromanage. I prefer to remain hands-off when it comes to individual tasks, but at the same time, I'm always available for help, guidance and assistance when needed. I like to know what's going on with regular informal check-ins, but I try not to make people feel like I'm breathing down their necks or forcing everyone to sacrifice valuable work time in order to hold unnecessary team meetings. I was on a large software project a few years ago that had 5 people each working on a separate piece of code that would eventually get put together into one large program. Rather than have people start and stop work to participate in group sessions, I set up a communication board that allowed us to message instantly either as a group or individually. I also included a status update section where we could post what we were all working on and how it was going. It allowed me to stay up to date on every aspect of the project without being intrusive and gave us all a way to work together. It also made it possible for anyone to reach me at any time with issues and problems, allowing us to problem solve quickly. The entire program was finished on time, and the board was such a successful idea that I now use it with every project I work on.
Tell me about a time you led by example. To me, you can't be a good leader if you're not willing to also do the work. While I set tasks for my team, I always make sure they're not tasks I myself wouldn't be willing to do. I was supervising a shop that was responsible for cleaning and testing float monitors used in storage tanks when we got a call from a business that had several of our products in a sewage tank. The sensors weren't reading properly, and he was concerned. We did some research and realized the sensors were due to be replaced. It was a miserable task, but someone had to do it. On top of that, we were short-staffed in the shop, which meant that the team doing the task would be down one man and it would take 2 days instead of 1. Rather than make the employees suffer any longer than they had to, I cleared my schedule, threw on a hazmat suit, and joined them in the tank. We were able to get the whole task done in one day and the client was satisfied. After the work was done, the two employees each approached me individually and expressed how grateful they were to have me in there helping them out and that it made them really respect me as a leader and teammate.
Give an example of a tough decision you had to make. I like to keep in mind the good of the company before I consider personal feelings. I was in a situation where I was responsible for hiring a new team lead for a large project we were working on. I had managed to narrow the selection down to two candidates, a new hire who was perfect for the job and another established employee who was not quite the right fit for the position but whom I considered a personal friend. While I would have loved to give opportunity my friend, it wouldn't have been the right choice for the company, so I'd taken the other employee. When my friend asked me why I had made that decision, I explained it to him. We discussed other opportunities that he would be a better fit for the position. At the time it wasn't an easy decision, but it was the right one and much scope for career and one I would make again.